live copyrighted presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for RadioLawTalk.com with your host, Frederick Penny, attorney at law. And now, RadioLawTalk.com.
Put your seatbelt on. We're here for 3 hours having fun, entertainment, and yes, we're going to talk about the law if we have time because the entertainment is the most important part. I'm Frederick Penny, your host. Sitting here to my left is Chris Rodriguez, our Harvard boy. Welcome, Chris.
Yeah, it feels good. I'm sitting in Todd's seat today.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Todd in a minute, but the most important person here is Denise Dirks to my right.
Good morning.
She is a family law lawyer. She keeps us boys straightened out, and we're missing Todd Cunin, our illustrious criminal lawyer. I don't care what he says. I'm going to call him a criminal lawyer because he gets mad. He says, I'm not a criminal and a lawyer. I said, we're going to call you the criminal lawyer since he's not here to defend himself. He is actually shooting a commercial. He's a hotshot now. He's shooting a commercial.
And getting paid for it.
And getting paid for it. And it irritates me that he's not here with us, but he's coming back week after next. We're going to talk about that in a minute. We have behind the glass Cal Hunter, 3-time Emmy Award nominee. And Cal, do not say that you did never win because we are proud of you and we are so thankful to have our producer as a 3-time Emmy Award winner. Thank you, Cal, for being behind the glass and not falling asleep. And you know what? Thank you very much to our call screener, Seth Madden. And welcome, Brad Smith, co-producer sitting back there, learning everything about Radio Law Talk. Brad and Jeff Smith will be our backups for Cal. We do not want Cal to leave, but in case Cal does something that's illegal and he's in jail, we need someone back there.
One time.
Well, you are from Red Bluff area, so who knows what's going to happen.
Right.
And you know what? The most important thing we have to do is thank Daniel Griffin for being here. We have a guest. Daniel Griffin is a bankruptcy lawyer. We're going to talk bankruptcy today. Welcome, Daniel.
Pleasure to be here this morning.
Thank you for coming. And those of you who are out there who want to talk to us, you can call 855-LAW-RADIO, or you can tweet us, or go to www.radiolawtalk.com if you want to listen to us live. You can listen to our prior podcast, Denise, and now the website's done where you can look up the topic and you can find the actual podcast, the date, the time, and what the topic was.
And even the hour.
Even the hour.
Even the hour is there.
Give them the phone number. Even though I say Law Radio, I hate that when people tell you that because you got to try to figure it out on your iPhone. What's the actual phone number?
It's 855-529-7234. So give us a call. We look forward to talking to you.
Yeah, and we have to do these boring disclaimers, by the way. Go to our www.radiolawtalk.com, and the disclaimer page is so interesting. I know Rodriguez was sitting there reading it prior to coming today. He was sitting out in his Ferrari and just checking to make sure that it was there. And I know you read it every day and double check it.
It's a funny thing about my Ferrari. It looks very similar to a Toyota Highlander.
Oh, it doesn't really?
It does.
I didn't know they made a Ferrari that looks like a Highlander.
Yeah, you got to pay extra for it.
Exactly. Remember, we're discussing general topics of the law. Our discussions cannot and will not cover all areas of law, especially when we're talking about certain topics. Make sure you seek local counsel. Talk to your local attorney about whatever issues you have in the legal field because they're going to know the details best. And little disclaimers too. Things are great with Radio Law Talk. We are blowing up around the West Coast. We are California lawyers. I am barred in Washington, D.C. Daniel, I don't know, you're barred in California.
Barred in California.
So we can talk the general law, but a lot of times other states are very similar, and we can talk about generalities. We also have lawyers throughout the United States that are tied in with my firm, Penny & Associates, that we can get on the phone if we have to do a specific answer. And in fact, last week we had someone out of Texas that called and needed some help and wanted to talk to a lawyer, and we hooked them up with a Austin, Texas lawyer.
And you can check out our website because we have a listing of a lot of attorneys from all over the United States.
That's exactly right. That's exactly. We're going to talk about some really cool things today. We're going to obviously having Daniel here. We're going to talk about bankruptcy of Dairy Queen, Toys R Us, and the Peabody bankruptcy, which is a coal mining company, correct?
Correct.
And we're going to talk about lead paint lawsuits. We're going to talk about the Sandy Hook tragedy and the lawsuits that occurred there. We're going to talk about lead from, what is that thing called, a fidget spinner?
Yes.
What the heck? Is that the things those kids are spinning around in their fingers?
Yes.
I have about 200 of them in my house. So to the extent that these things have too much lead in them, it's probably why, I lose track of thought every once in a while. Yeah. It's probably from these fidget spinners. I got 3 kids, and they all have way too many of them. So.
Really? What do they do? I mean, I don't get. They just spin and you hold them.
You hold the center of it and you kind of flick it on the side, and it spins around really, really fast. In fact, my 10-year-old has one. You can flick it and it'll spin for probably 15 minutes. Just as fast as when you first spun it. It's got it's all about ball bearings these days, I think, as Fletch once said.
In the 70s, we used to have the same thing as kids. It was called a boomerang.
You grew up in Australia, though.
Yes, I did. When Cal was growing up, when they had the horse and buggy, I don't think they had spinners.
No, we had a rock and a stick. I'm way before horse and buggy.
Oh, did you? and he had the little pea shooter things, too. Yes. That's exactly right. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Legionella and Legionnaire's disease. There is a claim, again, an allegation that people are getting Legionnaire's disease or Legionella and dying and or getting sick from Disneyland. And I'm telling you, that's allegations. So we make sure you remember that. Okay.
Man, this show is not good if you have kids.
I know. You can't.
Fidget spinners in Disneyland are dangerous, so watch out.
And watch out. So, but we're going to do some updates in a little bit. But the most important thing we're going to do is case or no case. We love to do our case or no case, which Cal will explain right now. Every hour we do case or no case, we're on for 3 hours. By the way, I want to thank our newest affiliates, KNNR Reno, 1400 AM, KNNT Battle Mountain, 98.5. Let's see, KELY, Ely, Nevada, 1230 AM, KAVB, Hawthorne, Nevada, 98.7 FM, and KPKK, Hammergosa Valley, 101.1 FM. And guess what?
Thank you to our listener in Hammergosa Valley.
No, there's hundreds of people in Hammergosa. It's a beautiful valley.
Okay.
Go to it. It's beautiful.
Right.
And guess what? We've got exciting news starting 1st of December. KTKZ AM 1380 in Sacramento's picking us up. So we're going to start there too. And thank you very much to Crack Radio, KRAC, and KBLF in Red Bluff and Redding area. They are the mother station. Guess what, Cal?
Right.
What's going to happen to those stations when we take off worldwide, which we're taking off? They're going to be known. They're going to be well known.
Yes, Crack Radio will once again be a national brand.
That's exactly right. So be prepared, people of Red Bluff and Redding. You will be known all over the United States. And soon, actually, you're getting known in Nevada and Texas right now. So that's important.
And who knows, maybe Minneapolis if everything goes well.
Hey, if your local station, if you're listening out there, does not carry us, call them. And they will carry us. It's up to you, the listeners. But Cal, tell the listeners what case or no case is.
Case or no case is where I come up with, or I either research or make up a legal case. I provide parameters to you, those that I know or those that I make up, and then you get to decide if it's a case or not. You tell us whether you would take that case, whether you think they would win, all of that. We just discuss it, and it's a little game we play called Case or No Case. And so that, my friend, is what that's about. Now it's time to play Case or No Case. So now,
I like that part. Like that part.
I take you now to a bar in some nondescript location. I'm not going to tell you where. It's a bar. The bar charges a cover charge to get in because a hot local band, I'll just make up a name, the Pete and the Peppers are playing tonight. Okay.
Oh, that's Todd Cunan's band.
The hot local band is playing, and a person says, I don't want to pay the cover charge. I'm going to come in the back way.
Ooh.
The back way is blocked. So they go through the bathroom window. They fall. They break their teeth. And then they sue. Is it a case or no case? We'll have to answer that after the break, right?
Yeah, we're going to come back after the break and talk about his case or no case and get the lawyer's take on it. We'll be right
tweet
back.
us at Radio Law Talk and chime in.
And remember, all advertising services for legal services on Radio Law Talk or for California lawyers only. This is RadioLawTalk.com. You're listening to RadioLawTalk.com. And now back to your host, Frederick Penny.
Sometimes Cal puts these sounds on. We don't know what they were. It sounded like a UFO was rolling in a second ago. But
That was just a ground loop, a nice buzz. Did you like that?
I like that. Well, what I like, too, is we've been looking up the Amargosa Valley, Nevada, and C-Rod, Chris Rodriguez, said... and it's beautiful. There's a lake there. Looks like there's a lake, and there's a big casino there. It's called the Long Street Inn and Casino. C-Rod, what were you going to do?
Every picture I've seen of the Amargosa Valley, it's beautiful, like you said. There are no people, as far as I can tell, in the Amargosa Valley. There must be people there. There's a radio station that we're on in, and we're very proud to be on there. But I wanted to put a little challenge out there. If you are listening to this show and you're in the Amargosa Valley, please call in, and we will send you. I guess I will send you.
You will. This is all about you. This is about you.
A $20 bill.
Out of your pocket.
Out of my pocket, and a signed Radio Law Talk mug. So if you're in the Amargosa Valley and listening, call in.
Yeah, because people might not be listening, or they might be listening and they don't want to call in.
Or there might be no people.
Or who wants to call in and talk to a bunch of lawyers? Really?
I would.
Okay. All right.
You know me. I take law seriously.
If you're in the Amargosa Valley and you hate lawyers, call in.
Well, they can
now
tweet.
they're going to light up.
No, here's the best thing. Tweet us. At Radio Law Talk. You can tweet it, and then you can be a little more... Do they tweet in Amargosa
I don't think
Valley?
they have Twitter in the Amargosa Valley.
Oh.
If you tweet us from the Amargosa Valley, $30.
Oh, Rodriguez is paying out big bucks, man.
Denise, what's the telephone number?
855-529-7234.
Toll free, even from the Amargosa Valley.
Let's see what happens. Okay. What's your prediction, C-Rod?
My prediction is that we're not going to get anybody from the Amargosa Valley.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I don't have. I'm going to have to borrow it if somebody calls in.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you just write a bad check.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think? We're doing instead of case or no case. We're doing an Amargosa Valley call or no Amargosa Valley call.
Well, I hope
Denise.
there will be, because I'd like to know.
So you're saying yes?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm saying yes. Daniel, what are you saying?
Some contrarian's got to be out of there. One person's going to call.
One.
Exactly one.
One person's calling. Okay, come on. Lisa, I think someone's going to call from probably Henderson, Nevada, and say they're from Amargosa Valley, so they can get the $20.
But the address, I'm only sending the $20 to an address in Amargosa Valley. So if they want to drive from Henderson to the Amargosa Valley to collect that 20,
You going to accept P.O. boxes?
no.
Oh, shoot.
All right.
I want to find someone to do it. Okay, go ahead, Cal. Let's finish our case or no case.
now?
Yes,
okay.
we can. We can stop.
All right, now back, ladies and gentlemen, to case or no case. We gave you a brief setup. Woman too cheap to pay to enter the club sues the owner of a nightclub in a city because she fell from the bathroom window to the floor, breaking out her previously malformed teeth.
Where's she from then?
Delaware.
Delaware. Okay. All right. I don't want to say anymore.
Let's pull a state of Delaware. Why not?
Yeah.
Couldn't find Rhode Island.
We don't have Delaware yet
No.
on our radio
So we're
stations.
safe.
Okay,
yeah.
we're safe.
Not from the Amargosa Valley. Want to make that clear.
That's exactly
okay.
right.
So she falls, she breaks her teeth. She sues the nightclub for her dental bill and for damages. Is it, ladies and gentlemen, a case or no case? And so let's start, if we may, with the lovely and talented...
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Denise.
Start with me.
Yeah, as soon as I said lovely, Fred sat up and said, that's me, baby.
She's
Yeah.
looking right in that YouTube video right there.
Denise Dirks, what do you think? Case or no case?
Well, I really hate to, break my record of losing these. But I think it has just enough in it, especially about the malformed teeth part of it, that it's a case. And because she couldn't get in through the back door, she came in through the window and in the bathroom. And if it was big enough and unlocked, then it was foreseeable that somebody would try to get in that window. And when she came through, I think she hit her teeth
She actually apparently
on the toilet, right?
or the bathroom sink. Who knows what? Yeah.
So case, and I think she recovers.
She goes to the lawyer. The lawyer says maybe.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah. So okay. So apparently. Okay. So now, Frederick Penny.
Oh, me. Okay.
Case or no case?
Okay, the first question is, yes, it's a case. And I believe you are not faking us this time like you did last week. I think it's a real case.
All right.
I sounds like it's in Delaware. And the issue was foreseeability. Was it foreseeable that people would come back to the back part and climb through the window? I'm saying it's not foreseeable. There's the issue also, without getting into details of premises liability law, whether or not they're a trespasser, whether they're an invitee or not an invitee. I'm going to assume they're an invitee because they're a business and they know they're going to want people to come in.
Even if there's a cover charge, they're an invitee.
Yeah, they're still an invitee. It doesn't matter because they're a business and they're doing business. So they're an invitee. I wouldn't call her a trespasser, which is a higher standard for the plaintiff to sue. I'm going to say it's foreseeable that people are doing this because it happened before, and therefore a dangerous condition existed that they knew about or should have known about. That dangerous condition of people coming through the window and falling down. Case, and she wins, and the damages are $1.
Okay, I know we have only a couple of minutes, and I'm very excited that Dan is here with us. So,
Me too.
And the fact that Denise and Fred were so long-winded, I'm just going to say very quickly, no case. Cal made it up, and because I've been fooled before.
He doesn't trust me anymore at all.
So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Let's hear from Dan Griffin, our bankruptcy lawyer.
Oh, man, I hate to fight the weight of authority here, but I think I'm going to have to go with no case. This rings a little too much like a law school hypothetical that I had to actually get tested on a few years ago.
So you're saying no case. All of those who say case, let's see. Denise Dirk says case. Fred Penny says case. Chris Rodriguez and Dan say no case.
And that Fred and Denise talked too long.
Let me comment a little more about that.
Furthermore, let me state.
Furthermore, let me
All
say.
right,
Well, let's talk about Todd Cunin while we're. Yeah, we only have like 30 seconds left. I mean, are you ready to give us the answer? We have 30 seconds. Let's talk about Todd before you. And I want you to tell us tell us, right? What's the answer?
The answer is those of you who said it is a case.
Yeah.
Losing streak.
Yeah, the losing
Yay.
streak's gone.
And those of you who said no case, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, let's talk about when we come back. Tell us the details,
Yeah.
Cal, when we come back. I'm Frederick Penny, your host of Radio Law Talk. We'll be right back after these messages.
All right, we'll flesh out what happened in Case or No Case right after this. You're listening to RadioLawTalk.com, and we thank you. If you know of any law case that might be worthy of an appearance on our Case or No Case segment, send the information to info@RadioLawTalk.com. Be sure to put case or no case in the subject line. And if we use your submission, you're eligible for a special award.
I am Fred Penny, sitting next to another winner. To the right of me, Denise Dirks. We smoked the boys at Case or No Case. Cal, tell us. We won. It was a case.
Right.
Denise and I, but I kind of went further and I elaborated a little more than she did. I said she wins, but $1. So go ahead.
Denise, what do you think she won?
Well, I said damages. She's going to get money. I think she's going to get a new set of teeth.
A new set of teeth. Okay.
Yes.
Well, okay, that could be. Chris, what do you think?
Well, I guess now I've been proven wrong, so it was a case.
Yep.
And I think I agree with Denise that she'll get a new set of teeth in Delaware that runs, what, like $550, something like that?
She could just borrow some from somebody else.
Yeah,
Or get it
probably.
from the Goodwill. I'm sure there's a few extras there.
Yeah. So I don't know, $550.
George Washington's wooden teeth. Maybe they could find those. All right. And our bankruptcy lawyer, David, what do you think?
So I'm thinking that new pair of teeth without insurance got to be a few $1,000 at least.
Okay, well, she got a new pair of teeth. That was included in the settlement.
Oh.
But wait, there's more. $12,000
Yeah.
because she broke into a nightclub because she was too cheap to pay the cover charge.
Pain
tell
and
you,
suffering.
I don't
Pain
get-
and suffering.
You know
was
what? I
awful.
told you there's
don't get
got to
that.
be facts that they had those problems before. We have a caller on the line.
Yep, we do. Go ahead, caller. Thanks for being with us on Radio Law Talk.
Go ahead.
This is Bill down at Shade Low Trailer Park down in Amargos Valley.
Woohoo!
Hey, Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Hey, here's Chris Rodriguez. He's ready to talk to you.
Bill, we need an address. What's your address in the Amagosa Valley?
I don't have an address. I can just point you to a point on the map.
Okay, okay.
All right.
What do you do there in the Amargosa Valley, Bill?
I refurbish trailers.
Oh,
Okay,
good
okay.
For you.
All right.
Cool. So tell us.
I just want to let y'all know that we're the normal people down here, and we don't appreciate y'all talking smack.
Oh.
there you go, C-Rod.
Sorry.
Oh.
Well, hey.
Hey, I got to go. My pet squirrel's getting in the neighbor's garden.
Hey, Seth. Hey, Seth. Where's Seth?
Our call screener just disappeared from this call screening seat. I think we
My
got
goodness!
you
If
just
we
got
weren't
punked.
in trouble in the Amargosa Valley before, we certainly are now.
You
My
just got
goodness!
punked.
I absolutely did. My palms are all sweaty.
Dude, did you really think that was someone else?
Did you see me? Did you see me reaching for my wallet?
You see how nervous he got? But he thought, I got to pay this guy.
I saw. See, you can't see. I see him disappear from his seat back there, and then all of a sudden he rolls in, and there's your Amargosa Valley guy. $20. He's in there, Seth.
That's a case or no case. Do I have a case against this show for the stress that I was just caused by?
Oh my
I
God.
think you started it and assumed the risk there.
I'll tell you what. When he said we really don't appreciate that you guys are talking about us, we're just normal people down here. I was like,
Uh-oh.
I thought it was real. I felt bad. Honest to God, I felt bad for about 15 seconds, and then I looked. I go, this guy sounds like Seth. I look back there, and Seth is gone. I'm like, oh.
And why is it that we presume that people from out of our particular area all speak with a southern accent?
No, that's the way.
In Nevada, people.
That's the way Seth is. He speaks that way anyway. That's his normal voice.
Would a guy in Nevada say, and we don't appreciate y'all talking like that? Dallas, maybe.
I refurbish trailers.
I think the difference is they're on their way down here in their truck coming after you. They're looking for that Toyota Ferrari thing parked out front.
With a pet squirrel.
That's exactly right. Hey, let's talk about some law. It was funny because we're sitting here and Daniel's like, yeah. When we first, I gotta.
Cal calls him David, but that's fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's okay.
Daniel, I apologize.
That's okay. We call him David. Daniel. He's smart enough to know not to say anything.
If
That's
you
what
look
he's
at the
doing.
way I wrote your name, you see that last L poking up? It looks like a D from afar. It was sitting over here, so I'm saying.
No, we don't. We don't worry about it. But anyway, Daniel's like, oh, no. How are we going to talk about? I said, there's so much BS. I said, is BS? Can we say BS on the radio, Cal?
Just the initials.
Okay. So there's so much BS on our radio station. I mean, on our radio law talk at the beginning. I said, you don't have to talk about anything for a while. And he's looking at it, and after the break, he goes, yeah, you're right. We're already almost an hour in. We haven't talked about anything, have we? Nope. This is radio law talk, man.
Now it's time to get busy.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of things. Here I want to talk about some updates. The Equifax says it owns all the data about all of us. So here's the issue. Remember we talked earlier in a segment probably a month ago, or was it about a month ago, about Equifax?
It might even have been 2 months ago.
Yeah,
The data breach, right?
The data breach.
Yeah.
So what happened is there's approximately 145 million people's data was breached, supposedly, by who knows who, hackers, and Equifax. And the issue is Equifax going to be sued? Well, they're holding hearings now. And the big issue for me is, and I'm writing all over, when I study it and read this, the first question I wrote is what? What's the big issue? Okay, you see, you got how smart you three lawyers are. What's the big issue here? I mean, it's okay.
It's our it's our personal.
No, damages.
Well,
what are the damages? Zero. You have no damages. I mean, so yes, they breached my. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. They breached, let's say my name, and I don't know. I didn't look at the list. What are my damages? No one's taken my money. No one's done anything to my knowledge yet. I hope they don't try to now. But the point is I think you can prove that this was breached, but then where are your damages?
Okay, but let's equate this with a different type of claim that a lot of people are familiar with. These ADA claims.
Right.
Somebody comes in, they are usually a professional plaintiff. They look and they measure how high the toilet dispenser is, and it's 6 inches too low, and they sue you. They don't have any damages, but the law wants to force businesses to make things a certain way so that disabled people can have access, and there's very good reasons for that, obviously. So they impose civil penalties in order to force the businesses to do what they're supposed to do. The same is true
Exactly
here.
right.
The same is true here. There's not going to be any damages, but if you are a plaintiff, you have standing to bring the suit, and you may be able to get civil penalties paid to you to essentially punish the business for not doing something.
that's
it should
And
have
I
done.
get
That's what
that,
the
but there are no laws, to my knowledge, that says under the Equifax issue that there are damages. But on the ADA laws, there are damages that are paid.
But that's
either
why
automatically.
they're being interviewed and investigated by Congress
That's
right now.
exactly right.
Is because Congress is trying to decide what should the remedy be. What should we do to have these type of a company that holds such important information about people, and when there's and remember there was two breaches, two data breaches, one in March and another one in May, and they did not do anything during that time frame to tell anybody about it, and then the executives sold all their stock.
Nice.
So, you know, this smells really bad, and Congress is getting involved, and they're saying, what do we do to protect people's data? And
Right.
isn't Equifax claiming that it's not our data?
No, yet not our as in the consumers. Yeah, it's their data, and they own it. And here's the other interesting thing that they say. The consumers, believe it or not, they collect this. As a consumer, you cannot opt out of it. They get your data whether you want them to or not. Where other things you can opt out. Legally, you can opt out. You can probably sue someone, or you have the option to sue someone, damages is another issue, if they're taking your data improperly. But with Equifax, they get it no matter what, and it's there. They claim that they own that data, but you have no choice. You can't opt out. I think there's laws coming down pretty quick on that issue
I hope
to
so.
protect the consumer on that.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that stuff's been going on. We've been talking about whether or not there's going to be lawsuits coming up. Look, that's 145 million people. That's 145 million lawsuits. I think we're going to have to work on that.
This is an issue where if Todd was here, he'd be researching it on the computer. My understanding, and I know we're only talking about general topics of the law, and now I'm talking, and there's probably a 50% chance that I'm wrong. But
Usually 90% when you're talking.
I thought that there were laws in place for businesses that have people's data, that if they don't take the precautions to safeguard that data, they are liable on a per violation basis for certain penalties. So whether that applies here or not, obviously Equifax would go under, and they'd need to call a bankruptcy lawyer like Dan if they had
Dan?
Dan or
Daniel.
Dave. Daniel. Dan or Daniel?
David.
Either way, let's go David, Dan.
Anything with-
Hey, how about hey you?
Hey,
Okay.
dang.
But that would be a pretty massive
Right. Class action suit,
set
probably.
set of liabilities if that were the case. So
It's the kind of a fact pattern that makes me mad, that they claim that they own the data, because it's very personal data.
Right.
That's
But
exactly
con-
right. And you can't get out of it either.
Yeah.
It's automatic.
But if Target gets their data stolen, people sue Target over
That's
that.
right.
Yes.
So
They
why does Equifax get a pass on this?
And
Don't know.
that's exactly the issue, Cal. And I think they're not going to. You know, lawyers, they're going to start rolling in and suing. I mean, especially in the plaintiff's bar that I handle, I could see this one rolling in as a big class action suit.
have we heard anything about what precautions Equifax failed to take that they should have taken? Was there some patch that they didn't install? Wasn't that one of the issues?
Yes, they did. They had an update on their security system, and they failed to update it.
Yeah. So yeah, there are a lot of. I mean, this is their fourth hearing, I believe, and quite honestly, everyone's getting mad at them, and the Congress is starting to get mad and upset. And it's interesting how they sell their stocks as quick as possible, the executives, and all of a sudden they resign. But I think you know as I do. Hey, we got a breach. Ring, the phone's ringing. The CEO laying in bed. They know. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the law when we come back. This is Radio Law Talk. Tweet us at Radio Law Talk.
Radio Law Talk. I like that show.
Go to the website, radiolawtalk.com. You can listen to the show there, and there's a lot of other good information, too. That's radiolawtalk.com.
Glad we're starting out live again, because I had a solicitor call me, and I was stupid enough to answer the phone. I thought it was someone else. I was like, yeah, I'm live on the radio in about 15 seconds. Do you mind? Well, let me talk to you about that. Hang up. Okay. So
Oh, not from England.
No,
Not a
no,
solicitor
no, no,
from
no,
England.
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no, 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 no.
I was fooled for a minute.
Fred's firm only extends to all of the territories in the United States. He has not yet expanded his empire overseas.
Or to Canada.
Okay. All right. I'll agree to that.
Okay.
All right, Chris, you're telling us something about the
Yes.
Equifax.
So we were talking about Equifax before the break, and Daniel asked a very good question about what it takes, because you were talking about damages,
Right.
And so we did a little bit of research, and there is a split of authority depending on where the case might ultimately be brought for invasion of privacy or privacy breach. Whether you have standing or not to sue. And so, for example, in California or in Chicago, there are more liberal rules. So all you would need to show, you wouldn't have to show that somebody actually took your data and did something bad with it that harmed you. All you would have to show is that because of the data breach, you are at an increased risk for having your identity stolen. And so, whether or not the plaintiff has a right to bring the suit in that particular forum will determine, whether or not these companies that have data breach issues are liable. So if the court rules, sorry, you don't have standing because nobody actually stole your data. There's some courts in Virginia and more on the East Coast where they have tighter standing requirements. That case might be worth only thousands of dollars, but where a court has a more liberal rule on standing. For example, a company in California paid out $115 million because it allowed a number of consumers' private
data.
information to be out there. So
now, what
it's a
about
big
the
issue.
Amargosa Valley? What's the standing over there?
The standing in I don't know. Let's ask Seth. What is the?
Amargosa Valley. Okay, that's interesting. That's not. Oh, what's a little interesting? We can't say interesting anymore. What are we supposed to say?
Well, you can say a lot because you guys always say interesting, and so I made a list. Refreshing, vital, important, significant, meaningful, critical, useful, valuable, wonderful.
So from now on, when we say interesting, that's what that means.
Yes, all of the above.
We say the same words over and over, Chris. You and I guess.
Apparently, but I'd rather say the same word over and over than sounding like an idiot and saying vital. That's vital.
That's vital.
How is vital a synonym for interesting?
That was.
I don't think it is.
What's the other synonyms?
How about it's a big deal?
That's
it is.
whopper. That's there's some. That's meaningful. That was a meaningful comment.
Right. Fascinating, exciting, engaging, entertaining,
Hey, talcum powder.
informative, illustrative.
Let's talk about Johnson & Johnson talcum powder.
Now you talk about a product that's vital.
That's exactly right. Talcum powder. Depends. Depends
That
who
too.
you are.
That too.
Depends is also at
Yes.
our age. So remember we talked about talcum powder in the Johnson & Johnson lawsuit?
Yes.
So there's two issues going on here in these cases. The first
Issues. There's two concerns.
two concerns. Oh my gosh. There's two concerns, Mom.
That was an illustrative comeback, Denise.
She's here to keep us in check. But there's two issues. The two issues are very clear. And the one is whether or not it causes mesothelioma, which is a lung issue, and whether or not the talc powder, and whether or not ovarian cancer. And there's two different suits.
That's
coming.
because there's asbestos
That's exactly
in the
right.
talc powder.
Well, they're
And-
claiming there's asbestos. We got to say, because the allegations are there's asbestos, but Johnson & Johnson actually, in this latest lawsuit that came down in Pasadena, their experts are saying it's not asbestos. It is their experts think it's an asbestos, but it's not an asbestos.
Got it.
So it's an allegation. But the jury came down 9-3. Daniel, explain the jury. 9-3 means in California, 12-0. Well, in federal court, 12-0. You got to have 12-0 on a civil case, but a 9-3, you still win with 9. Is that correct, guys?
Yes.
So you still win with 9. So it was a 9-3 vote. So 9 for Johnson & Johnson, 3 for the plaintiffs. And so the case was thrown out, and they found that Johnson & Johnson and other suppliers of talc powder were absolved of any negligence or liability when it comes to not ovarian cancer issues, but to the issue of mesothelioma, which is hard to say, but I did say it right.
Yeah, you said issues.
I'm not going to change my issue name. What do I say? What's another synonym of issue, Chris? You and I, she's against us, so do you help
Item.
me?
Item.
No.
How about disease?
Disease?
Yeah.
No, issue. When you talk before a court, you say issues, and we're lawyers. We have to talk issues.
Topics.
So anyway,
concerns.
Okay, I'll say it differently. Those issues.
If you're a judge and you are tired of Mr. Penny saying issues when he's in your courtroom, or give us a call and let us know about that.
Yeah, speak to the subject.
Yeah.
Especially if you're from Amorosa Valley, give us a call because you get $20 still, I think.
You do?
Don't forget, originally there was a $417 million verdict in
right.
this,
And that was in the ovarian side.
yeah, that's the ovarian. But you know what? A lot of these are up before the appellate courts and the Supreme Courts of the different states they're in, and I'm not saying rumor has it, but they could be all overturned. So don't think this is over.
The one California plaintiff that was involved in that out-of-state action, they determined at the appellate level that she was not properly joined in the class.
That's exactly
and
right.
And she has no remedy now because the statute of limitations
and she
has
passed
run
away.
here at home.
Didn't she pass away?
Yes, she did.
Oh, that's too bad. So right now there's over 5,000 talc ovarian cancer cases pending right now. That's a lot of cases. The most important thing about that, all you listeners out there, is it helps the lawyers in their jobs. So that's what's important. Is we got 5,000 or 10,000 lawyers that have jobs and making good money on it.
Let me ask you a serious question here, because my grandmother passed away from ovarian cancer.
Okay.
Okay. So little peek behind the curtain here. I am in your office. I'm a potential client, Fred. This is kind of a little case or no case.
I'm already dumping you because I know it's all about the person, because I'm investing in the person. So
okay, this is my grandmother, not me.
Oh, okay. Your grandmother's probably nicer than you.
She died in 1995. Let's say that we now find out about potential liability and potential causation
And she used
from
talc
Johnson &
every
Johnson,
day.
and she used talc every day. Can I or somebody as her heir or representative of her estate, would I have a valid claim now, even though she passed away 12 years ago, 22 years ago?
You know, the rule you've learned as a law student and in law school and as a lawyer is never ask a question you don't know the answer to. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, it depends on what state.
Okay.
I don't know that answer. And let me tell you. Go ahead, Denise.
Well, just because discovery, some statutes out there of limitations allow for there to be a
Right.
discovery of the cause, and once it's discovered, then you have your time to bring the suit.
But the
Once you
answer,
know reasonably now.
yeah. But what I'm going to answer is, as an estate, the odds are slim and none that you're going to win that one. But if she was still alive, that could be, because these talc cases are all stemmed from the 70s and 80s of these ladies
That's
that
right.
have their ovarian cancer now. So the odds of the estate, in my opinion, is slim that the estate can bring it. But again, I haven't researched it, so don't.
And always remember, go
Yeah.
talk to your local attorney.
And you can
find
talk
out.
to locally me too, but I'd have to research that and look it up. But that would be a major issue, being alive. But we know that the talc cases were people that it happened. They're claiming it happened in the 70s and 80s, and they're alive, and they're bringing suits in 2016, 2017. So, good question. But you know the rule.
Do we have any more updates?
Yeah, no. So that's the latest. That's the latest
Okay.
update on that. Now,
Nice.
and here's the most important one that we're going to talk about before the end of the hour. And there, we talk about a lot of important topics. We've got 1 minute left, but this is so important that I want to talk about it before the end of the hour. And that is that Monica Settles' billionaire husband is going to trial, suing his decorator because she overcharged him $300,000 to renovate his 240-foot yacht. I think that's a travesty.
It's terrible.
A yacht that he rents out for big money.
$547,000 a week for the yacht to charter it.
And it would only the renovation was $300,000.
No, it was $800,000 for the interior. This is just the person. This was the designer. We're
Right.
going back to the Angelina Jolie thing and the
Brad
Brad Pitt
Pitt.
thing, but it was about $800,000 she charged, and she overcharged him according to him, and she owes him $300,000. I think that should be put in front of all of our criminal cases. I think it should be put in front of the talc cases, because that's really important for us to figure out whether or not $300,000 was overcharged for these poor people. What do you think? All right. See you later. We'll be back. The hour's up.
You have been listening to RadioLawTalk.com, a copyrighted presentation of Radio Law Talk Incorporated.